Hello, children. Let us begin the story. Salvatore, written by William Somerset Maugham. He was an English playwright, novelist, and short story writer. His work is characterized by a clear and unadorned style, cosmopolitan settings, and a shrewd understanding of human nature. So, Maugham has written many plays, novels, and short stories, and he's written in a very simple style, and the settings of his stories are all from all over the world, and he understands the human nature beautifully. So, a summary of the story is the short story Salvatore is apparently a narrative about the life of a young Italian fisherman and his disappointment in love. It is actually a masterly character sketch of the protagonist. So, protagonist of the story is Salvatore, who is an Italian fisherman. He is a very simple man and he is ditched in love. He is totally disappointed, but he does not blame the love of his life in any way. So, let us read the text with its explanation. I wonder if I can do it. Now, the author has started the story in a very dramatic style and makes the readers curious to know what is he talking about, what he is not able to do or what he is able to do. Let us read. I knew Salvatore first when he was a boy of 15 with a pleasant face, a laughing mouth, and carefree eyes. So he says, I knew Salvatore when he was a young boy of 15 years. He had a pleasant, smiling face, carefree eyes. He used to spend the morning lying about the beach with next to nothing on, and his brown body was as thin as a rail. He was full of grace. So he goes on to say that in the morning he used to lie around on the beach hardly wearing anything, and his brown body was thin as a rail. Rail means a pole. But he was very, very graceful. He was in and out of the sea, all the time swimming with the clumsy, effortless strokes common to the fisher boys. So, all the time he was jumping in and out of the sea, swimming with clumsy. Now, clumsy means awkward, and effortless means without making any effort. That is, he was very graceful. So, it seems to be more of an oxymoron, being clumsy and as well as at the same time effortless. I mean, it's very common for the fisher boys to be very good at swimming. Scrambling up the jagged rocks on his hard feet, for except on Sundays he never wore shoes. He would throw himself into deep water with a cry of delight. Now, here scrambling means that is with moving or climbing over something quickly by using your hands, and jagged means something, the rocks having a very sharp and uneven edge. So he scrambled up, climbed over those sharp edged rocks with his hard feet. Now his hard feet, why are they hard? Because he never wore shoes. He walked around barefooted, except on Sundays he did not wear shoes at all. So probably on Sundays he goes to the church, there he wears the shoes. So he would throw himself, he would dive into the deep waters, crying out with happiness and delight. His father was a fisherman who owned his little vineyard, and Salvatore acted as a nursemaid to his two younger brothers. So his father was a fisherman and he had a little vineyard. Now, vineyard is a place, a field where the grapes are grown, and he took care of his younger brothers like a nursemaid. Nursemaid is a person who takes care of the children. He shouted to them to come inshore when they ventured out too far, and made them dress when it was time to climb the hot vine-clad hill for the frugal midday meal. So he used to ask them to come towards the shore. Inshore means come towards the shore from the sea when they ventured out. Ventured means to go somewhere, to some place which is which is unknown and dangerous. So here it means they went out very deep into the sea. Then he used to call them back and used to help them to dress up, and then they would climb up the hill full of vines, covered with vines, for their frugal. Frugal means the little small midday meal, that is their lunch. But boys in those southern parts grow apace. Apace means very quickly, and in a little while he was madly in love with a pretty girl who lived on the Grand Marina. So, young boys of southern parts, they grow up very quickly. Very soon, Salvatore was a grown up young man and he fell in love with a beautiful girl who lived on the Grand Marina. He goes on to describe her beauty. She had eyes like the forest pools and held herself like the daughter of the Caesars. So, her eyes like forest pools means, now look at the use of the simile over here. Like here also, her eyes like the forest pools. Her eyes are being compared to the forest pools, means her eyes were very, very beautiful. She walked her like the daughter of the Caesars. Daughter of the Caesars means in a very royal, graceful manner she carried herself. They were affianced, but they could not marry till Salvatore had done his military service. So they were affianced means they were engaged to be married, but they could not get married till Salvatore did not complete his military training. And when he left the island, which he had never left in his life before, to become a sailor in the navy of King Victor Emmanuel, he wept like a child. Again, it is a simile. His crying is compared to the crying of a child. So he cried like a child when he left his hometown, which he had never done before, to become a sailor for King Victor Emmanuel. It was hard for the one who had never been less free than the birds. So, till now the comparison is made of Salvatore's life on the island where he lived, and now on the ship of King Victor Emmanuel. So here he had been used to living a free life, just free to go anywhere, just like the birds, and now to be at the beck and call of the others, now he had to listen to the orders of his seniors. It was harder still to live in the battleship with strangers instead of in a little white cottage among the vines. So second comparison is, it's very difficult for him to live on the battleship amongst total strangers, and whereas on the island he used to live on a small white cottage full of vines everywhere, grape vines. And when he was ashore, that is when the battleship was on the harbor and he was on the land, to walk in noisy, friendless cities with streets so crowded that he was frightened to cross them. But whenever he was ashore, he found it very difficult to walk on those the streets of the cities which were overcrowded with people, but still there was so much of noise, but still he had no friend. He was very lonely and he was so scared to cross the roads, when he had been used to the silent paths and the mountains and the sea. Whereas at home he was used to silent paths, no noise around, no, totally silent, peaceful and calmful mountains and the sea. I suppose it had never struck him that Ischia, which he looked at every evening, it was like a fairy island in the sunset. So it never struck him that whenever he looked at Ischia, Ischia is the island where Salvatore lived. It looked like a beautiful fairy island, something out of the, like a dreamland at sunset time, to see what the weather would be like the next day, just to see how the weather is going to be the next day. Or Vesuvius. Vesuvius is Mount Vesuvius, barely in the dawn, appearing like a beautiful pearl in early morning, had anything to do with him at all. That time he felt these have nothing to do with him at all. But when he ceased to have them before his eyes, he realized in some dim fashion that they were as much part of him as his hands and his feet. But when he was away from the island, he was away from Mount Vesuvius, then he realized that they were very much a part of him, just like his hands and his feet were a part of his body. He was dreadfully homesick. Look at the use of the word dreadfully, means very badly he was missing his home. But it was hardest of all to be parted from the girl he loved with all his passionate young heart. So he felt homesick, he missed his family, but most of all he missed the beautiful girl from whom he had been parted. He wrote in his childlike handwriting long ill-spelt letters in which he told her how constantly he thought of her and how much he longed to be back. So he wrote very, very long letters to her. They were ill-spelt, just like a bad handwriting of a small child. The letters were ill-spelt. That means he was not educated, lack of education. And in those letters, he told her how much he missed her and how much he wanted to be back. He was sent here and there to Spezia, to Venice, to Bari, and finally to China. So he was sent to different places all over the world, and finally he was sent to China. He fell ill of some mysterious ailment. Ailment is a sickness that kept him in hospital for months. So it was in China that he got a mysterious sickness, and he was in the hospital for many months. He bore it with the mute, uncomprehending patience of a dog. Mute means silent, uncomprehended means which cannot be understood. So he bore all the pain of that ailment silently, showing the patience of a dog. So his patience is being compared to that of a dog. When he learned that it was a form of rheumatism that made him unfit for further service. So that time later on he realized that he was suffering from rheumatism, that is a condition in which there is swelling and pain in the joints, and later on the doctors told him that he was not fit for job in the army. His heart exulted. He was more than happy, for he could go home and he did not bother. In fact, he scarcely listened when the doctors told him that he would never again be quite well. He was so happy that he would finally be home. He's not even bothered. He doesn't even listen to the doctors when they say that he's never going to be a normal human being again. What did he care when he was going to the little island he loved so well and the girl who was waiting for him? So he did not care for his this medical condition, as long as he was going back home to his family, to the island, and to the woman who loved her so much and who was waiting for him. Okay, thank you. I hope it's clear. In the next video, I'll continue with the rest of the story.